Dear participant, you are most welcome to NRC Center, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. I am Dr. Kalinath Jha from the Department of Sociology and Social Work, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Today I am going to present on very crucial and significant issue, and that is life skill education. So I am going to present a lot of questions, a lot of rationality among the issues of which is related to the life skill. So here life skill education is very much crucial for each and every individual to become trained, to become a lightened people. So dear participant, whenever I think about life skill education, so there is some point in my mind, and that is the most crucial point is thinking and judgmental process. What is the thinking process of an individual? That is crucial. Whenever we act, it is directly governed and controlled by our thought process. So what I think that is most crucial, and at the other hand, what I think that depends upon the social conditioning, the culture, the norms, the values, and so many structures where I am living. So I am talking about thinking and judgmental aspect of the education, which is directly concerned with skills. What type of skills? That is life skill. So the most important point in my mind, that is critical thinking. There should be critical thinking because critical thinking is necessary to become a rational being. If you don't have critical thinking, that means you are not going to apply your rational thing. So you know very much that rational things means it is directly related to the cause effect relationship. When we talk, we know about the consequences, we know about each and every result of our act. So it is necessary to think, not only think, to think critically what is the real thing about the issue. The second point is logical thinking. So logical thinking means whenever you make a sentence, that should be logical base. You can make any sentence. Yes, you are an individual and you can make any statement, but it should be logical. Why? Because if you are not saying logically, then there will be no meaning of your sayings. And if it is related to the cause effect relationship, it is related to the rationality, it is related to the meaningful. So that's what Darida has said, that conversation should be meaningful, because if the conversation will not be meaningful, then there will be no use of any conversation. So logical thinking is necessary to have a life, to have a better life in the society. And the next is judgmental. We have to be judgmental. Because so in each and every situation you have to judgmental, because you have to develop your capacity to make a decision. So in the part of decision making process is very much necessary, and that education it should be mandatory for each and every individual, because judgmental thing is very much significant to develop a personality of human being. So when we talk about judgmental, so it is directly related to the decision making process. So when in this concern, when you talk about the gender issues, so what is the status of women? What are the status? What were the status of women in pre-Vedic era, in Vedic era, in medieval Vedic era, and post-Vedic era? So when we assess the status of women, so at present we are going to discuss the participation of direct decision making process, because if they are not in the decision making process, they should not be treated as free, as equal to their counterpart. So decision making process, the being partner of decision making process is very much important in a life of human being. And the next is problem solving. So there are so many, we are struggling to right from morning to late night with their problems, different types of problems, whatever it is economic, whatever it is psychological, whatever it is academic, whatever. So there are so many problems, and we are struggling with the problems. But if there is any problem, there will be solution. So it is logical. So you can think about the solution, and that will be the best education. If there is problem and you think only towards your problem and indulge in your problems, so that should not be the right approach. The right approach is to think about the solving measures, how you cope, how you are going to cope to these challenges, to these issues, to these problems. And whenever we are talking about interpersonal relations, so what is interpersonal relations? So each and every day we are interacting. So hundreds of people, thousands of people, there are so many people are interacting each other. So and we are going to make a relation. We are establishing, we have established a relation. But in this concern, interpersonal relation is very much important, and this type of education is need of the hour. So the education should be on the basis of these issues, because there is a cycle of life, and each and every intervals of life of an individual. So it is necessary to have so many problems, but it is necessary to learn how you cope with these problems and challenges. Life skill education. Why life skill education is necessary for everybody? Why? The question is why? Because it is directly related to the personality development. And you know very well, dear participant, that in the trait of personality, there is inner personality and there is extrovert personality. So introvert and extrovert personality, and there are so many determinants of personality, as for example heredity, environment, ecology, social environment. There are so many factors behind the development of any personality. So education plays a crucial role in the development of human personality. So right from civilization, so we can discuss the mythology, whatever is concerned in Indian tradition, customs and the norms and values of India. So we are deriving such things to adopt for their personality developmental process. So it is directly related to the culture, norms, values, and it is called normative behavior. So you can identify a person on the basis of their culture. So whenever we can talk identity, it is a psychological term, but it has social meaning also. So if we are talking about identity of a person, that is directly related to the personality of an individual being. So there is the first aim and objective of the life skill education is personality development, because personality development is so significant that if your personality is not developed according to the culture of the nation, culture of your family, culture of your community. So there will be crisis. So how you cope up the crisis? Because you have to move towards the system and you have to contribute in the nation building process. So personality development is the main aim of life skill education. So when in this context, when we talk about the development of social skills, so what is development of social skills? So each society is depending upon social skills. What type of social skills? That is we can call it relationship between individuals. So in sociology, we are going to search only the relationship between individuals, whatever it is, and we have to make a relationship. We have to establish a relationship with one another, and any change of this relationship, whatever a group of sociologists have called it, the process of change, the process of social change. So development of social skill is very much important in this concern. That's why the life skill education should be based on social skill for the developmental process. When we talk about skills to face challenges in everyday life, so what we are going to face, what we have faced the challenges in everyday routine life. So if just I have said that we are struggling and we are facing each and every day with so many problems. So if we are going to think about the solution of this problem, the coping of this problem, so when you think about this, so skill is one of the main ways to cope all these problems. So skill, whatever you have skills, so skill of communication, skill of making a relationship, skill of receptiveness, skill of making pottery, skill of making pakoras and fuchkas. So it is necessary to have such education, because if education is directly not related to the skill developmental process, it means that will never be contribute to the nation building process. So we are talking about aims and objectives of the life skill education. So situation management and tension management is very much important. Why situation management? Because each and every situation is not similar. We are going to face, we are facing different situation in a day also. So each and every situation, there is change in role, there is change in status, there is change in culture, there is change in different processes. So we have to face different types of situation, and if you are not going to adjust the situation, balance the situation and manage the situation, that means if an individual is not going to balance the situation, that means their personality is not perfectly developed. That's why it is one of the main aims and objectives of the life skill education. So in this concern, when we talk about human dignity and self-respect, so it is very much important, not only psychologically, it is philosophically, it is economically and socially. It is very much important in social behavior, in societal concern, in the concern of different types of relationship which we are going to make, which we have established. So human dignity, what is human dignity? So every human is free, but living in a structure, but with a dignity which is provided by the structure. So if you cross the dignity of an individual, you are crossing the value of human rights. So some of the part of the globe, and there we can see that some peoples are going to cross, some peoples are grabbing the rights and claims of human. So it is called the question of human rights. So human dignity is very much concerned with an individual, not with an individual. So dignity is the term that should be directly related to the smoothness of the society, so enlightenment of the society, and the proper developmental process, and it should be treated as most crucial aim of the life skill education. When we are talking about self-respect, what Ambedkar had said, what Gandhi had said, and what our methodology, our custom, our tradition, our rituals, our mythology, right from the Veda period to till death, we are focusing self-respect of an individual. So there is integrity of each and every individual. So self-respect is very much concerned with education. Why education? Because education is the process that gives us enlightenment, that gives us freedom, that gives us democracy, and that gives us to way to search the God, the love, and the truth, what Gandhi has said. In this concern, cultural values and socialization is very much important. Why cultural values? Because it controls the human behavior, it controls the pattern, it controls the societal things. So cultural value is important because each and every individual is a product of culture. So that's why the role of culture is very much significant in the life of a human being. But socialization is the most important factor in a life of human being. So we have discussed self-respect and dignity. Why? We have discussed self-respect and dignity in relation to the socialization process. So if socialization process is not adequate, is not perfect, then there should be anarchy. So whenever you must have to think, why is rape, why is crime, and why is deviant behavior? Because of the socialization process. So why gender discrimination? It starts from the family. Why gender bias? Why gender discrimination? Why the other gender problem? Because it is deep rooted in socialization process, because each and every process is controlled and governed, manipulated and by the patriarchy. That is the cultural organization, and we are going to product certain male centric things, and if we have produced male centric themes, then what we are going to expect? There should be the discrimination, there should be bias, because of socialization was not perfect. So socialization process is very much crucial at different levels, whatever it is political, whatever it is social. So politically socialized, it is the concern of culture, it is the concern of patriarchy, it is the concern of value, norms, tradition, custom, and other behavioral aspect of the family and society, because it is directly controlled by the patriarchal norms, by the patriarchal notion. So when we talk about the role of culture, we must have to discuss, we must have to take consideration of cultural values and socialization. Whenever we are going to discuss, we have just discussed the institutional setup and role performance is also very much important, because if we are going to discuss cultural values and socialization, so in this relation, institutional setup and role performance is very much crucial. Why feminist movement not happening in India? So it is the output of institutional setup and role performance. In this concern, culture and personality development, we are just going to discuss culture and personality development. What is role of culture is important in the life skill education. So it is and management and skill management is also important at other side. What Malinowski says, if culture is liberal, human freedom also expands. So skill of adaptability to face socio-cultural change process, what Durkheim has said. So therefore Durkheim has emphasized the egoistic suicide in this concern, and in this concern the role of the family is also very much crucial. Not even crucial, it is very much significant. Why significant? Because the structure of the family and nature of the family, what types of family, what in which we belong to. So structure is important. Whether you are living in a joint family, whether you are living in nuclear family, whatever you are looking in extended family, and there are so many structures of family, and if there are so many structures of family, there are so many systems, there are so many cultures, there are so many norms and values, depends upon the social conditioning of that very society and cultural value of that very society. So structure is very much important, because what Weissing had said, if you are going to search, if you are going to study of Indian society, there are two keywords. What are these? That is structure and that is tradition. You can't explain and you can't understand without explaining these keywords, that is structure and tradition, with the help of its historicity. So that's why I am emphasizing nature of family and structure of family in the concern of life skill education. Whenever you talk about the socio-economic background of the family, the socio-economic background of an individual, and the socio-economic background of any territory, it is important, because each and every product in the society is directly related to, it depends upon their backgrounds, and social conditioning is also important, because culture is there, because norms is there, because values are there. Friends, communication skill is most important. So each and every day, each and every night, we are going to communicate. We have communicated and we are communicating. Just not communicating. We are going to make a relationship on the basis of communication. We are going to create different types of enemies on the basis of communication. We are going to make different types of confusions and chaos on the basis of communication. So communication is directly related to the life skill, and it should be that education is most crucial for each and every individual, because communication is so crucial, because whatever it is verbal, whatever it is not verbal, non-verbal. So verbal communication is also important, and non-verbal conversation is also important, because each and everybody is communicating with each and other person. So language, in this concern, language is important. Whatever you are going to speak, different types of languages. So India is a diverse country and there are so many languages, but when we use the language, we must have to know that whatever we are going to say, so audience should have to understand my views with make a proper understanding with my knowledge also. That's why each and everybody is projecting that education should be in primary level, should be in mother tongue. Why? Because there is affection, there is love, and because of the communication. So that is important. So style of presentation, communication and feedback, open-mindedness is very much important, because if you are conservative, if you are think about only yourself, then it is improper as a member of society you have to contribute a lot for the upliftment of the society and for the contribution of in nation building process. So open mindedness is important, because if you don't have open mind, then you are a conservative person, and whenever you are a conservative person, you are not liberated. So if you are not liberated, then there is no question of skills. So skills come through with the liberation, with the liberal mind. So we must have to think twice that there should be open-mindedness in this process. So good listener is very important, and making connection with each and every individual is also important. And different social sciences, in different social sciences, making connection is the essentiality of that very disciplines. But because we are going to the field and we are going to relate other person with an individual, so good listener is very much important. I have discussed decision making process and the perception towards the issues. Feeling and emotion is also the contributing factor in the development of human personality, because we all know that each and everybody is directly controlled by their emotion. They have feelings, and on the basis of their emotions, on the basis of their feeling, their actions are judged. So if we are going to act anything, it should not be based on scientific ethics, because if you are a human being, you never act without emotion and feeling. So emotion, everybody is guided and controlled by their emotions and feeling, but rationality is wanted there. Why rationality? Because there will be the controlling power. The rational issues is very much important, because it controls the emotion, it controls the feeling of an individual. So the development of self-control is very necessary for the life skill process. So situational adjustment is important. Whatever we are living in different situation, and we must have to think. So each and every situation demands different types of adjustment, different types of adaptability, different types of action. So if anybody is without the adjusting the situation, they never be successful. So we must have the controlling power of our anxiety, because anxiety is such things that controls the human mind, and you never be produce a good thing with an anxiety. So individual values and cultural values are also important. Dear participants, in the globalization era and in this technological era, life skill education and technological adjustment is very much crucial, because we are dealing with different types of social sites. We have just confronting with new technologies day to day, and in this situation, one must have to know the technological know-how, because if you don't have technological know-how, you can't control this type of problems and challenges. So dear participants, today I have discussed a lot of things related to the life skill education. It is very much crucial in the contemporary society and in the very fast changing society, because just we are facing different types of challenges, we are facing different types of problem, and and we are copying it. Also, we are copying it. So that's why life skill education should be life skill education is very much important in the life of each and every individual. Thank you very much.